It's even harder to buy the idea that Mehdi Hasan is an American if you actually listen to the things he says, which no one does. So let's review. Before he got his MSNBC contract, Hasan started out as a propagandist for Iran who told his followers that non-Muslims were, quote, animals. Watch.
In Islam, the ends do not justify the means. This idea is totally alien to Islam. In Islam, what is halal is halal, what is haram is haram. We do not bend our law, our morality for our short-term aims. Never. And we never lose the moral high ground. If we know anything of Shia Muhammad, as Shia Ali, as Shia Hasan, as Shia Hussein, we know that keeping the moral high ground is key. Once we lose the moral high ground, we are no different from the rest of the non-Muslims, from the rest of those human beings who live their lives as animals, bending any rule to fulfill any desire. Once we do that, we are lost.
Well,
all of these ulama unanimously agree that at the very minimum, if Yazid was not a kafir, then at the very minimum, he was a fasik, a transgressor, a breaker of Islamic laws, a corrupt individual, a tyrant, a killer, a drunkard, a dog lover, a music lover, a homosexual, a pedophile, a sexual deviant, someone who slept with his own mother, astaghfirullah. These are their views of the ulama, in their books, not my view.
Before he says anything, I'm going to clarify something because I know exactly what he's talking about. Matt Walsh is acting like he knows what he's talking about. First of all, in the first video, when he was talking about the moral high ground, there's nothing wrong with that. Just look at the Christianity. Right now, they have rainbow flag in the churches. So that is their moral high ground. They are bringing transgender to marry people over there. So when Mehdi Hasan says we have to make sure that we keep the moral high ground, halal is halal, haram is haram, that's a good thing. Look at the Christianity, how every time they gave up 1 inch, but they had to give up 1 more inch and 1 more inch. And here we are, people are non-binary, or the people are against every Christian value, as they call themselves Christian, and the reason was because they didn't keep the halal, haram, haram, and haram, haram. So that's the one. That's a very good thing. I would advise the Christian like Matt Walsh follow Mehdi Hasan's advice, and they keep Christianity great again, and then keep it halal. Don't compromise their value just to be accepted by other people. That's for one. The second thing that he said was about like it was. Metaphorically, we are talking about that we all, I mean, I think Christianity has it as well. If we only follow our desire instead of listening to the God, we're just going to be like an animal, which is like, right now, there are so many places, scientific way. They say we are just like animals. The only difference is we can talk and communicate. You know what I'm saying? And actually, it's an example, not only Islam brings that, Christianity brings that. It's not about non-Muslim, it's about even Muslim, every human being, as he specified. But Matt Walsh, for some reason, he wants to ignore that. He was saying if we only follow our desire instead of doing the right thing, then what's the difference between us and animal? Christians say also, they say like these guys are savage animals, and the reason is because they rage, their lust, their greed, all those 7 sins overcome their morality, and they do something that normally if they follow Christianity they wouldn't do that. So to say that it's not like non-Muslims are animals, even Muslims are animals if they only follow their instinct and their desire, which gonna result to the collapse of the civilization, as we are seeing those liberal and progressive, they are doing something that is destructive to the society, and the reason is because only they care about what they are feeling. He is talking about that. There's nothing wrong with that. All this traditional value following the God stuff in Christianity they are teaching is also mentioning that don't live like animals only following your instinct, but instead use your brain and follow the God. So there was nothing wrong with this one. And third one, he was talking about the Yazid, the person who killed grandson of Prophet Muhammad. He killed Imam Hussein, and that person was drinker, he was doing all those sort of the scenes, like sleeping with the mother. He wasn't talking about anybody but the person who killed Imam Hussein. To not know, to not even mention the context, to know in which context he mentioned, he didn't call random people, oh, you slept with your mom. You guys are calling all the Muslims, oh, you have sex with the goats or stuff. Is it very Christian way of talking with the people? You say all stuff of slurring against black people, against Muslims. Is it very Christian way of saying? He was just saying the stuff that person did. I don't see anything wrong. If somebody is murderer, if you call it murderer, it's not beneath you to call the murderer a murderer. If Jeffrey Epstein is a pedophile, and you call him a pedophile, it is not to say, oh, so cheap, I cannot believe. All these Christians are calling Jeffrey Epstein pedophile. Or pedophile, this is the language Christians have. So what should you call them? If somebody is doing a crime, you're going to call the crime that they did. But just calling the crime they did doesn't make you criminal. You are just stating the crime that person committed. And this is what exactly he did. He wasn't insulting people. He said, these are the things that that person, Yazid, did before he killed Imam Hussein. So he wasn't a good person, he was a bad person, he was an evil person. That's all he was saying. And he's acting like, oh, really? You are telling me, so mentioning, naming those sins that that person called gonna make you an evil person or cheap person. So every Christians who call Jeffrey Epstein pedophile, they are also criminal, or they should be condemned. Okay, let's go.